Well, looks like I took the walk of shame. I was doing a 10 miler, and about 9 miles out, popped the front tire. And now that I'm here, looks like both tires are flat. I'm sure most YouTubers would have kept this secret. I'm trying to do a head-to-head of two popular budget mountain bikes. This one, the Motobecane Fantom, and the Mongoose XR Pro. I want to keep both bikes as stock as possible, but I've already made changes. You can see what I did here to the Mongoose. I had time to think on my walk of shame. Maybe I should go tubeless now rather than later, but doing so opens up a whole new can of worms. The XR Pro comes stock with 29 by 2.1 Innova tires and proprietary wide rims, none of which are tubeless ready. The Fantom comes with 29-inch WTB Nano 2.1s on WTST I-25 wheels, but they're gravel bike tires. The I-25 wheels are tubeless compatible, but those Nano 2.1 tires are not. Hell, they can't even stand up to random sand-burs on a paved bike trail. So tubeless then. But which tires? Because they're listed at about 60 bucks a pop, so you better be right when you choose. I mean, what tires did you choose? Let me know below what tire choices you made. For my part, I already knew going in that I wasn't going to stay with the 3x8 drivetrains. I knew that from my experience on the 3x7 26er that I had. Eventually, I decided on 1x11 speed drivetrains for both bikes. But that meant possibly larger freewheels to accommodate a larger cassette, which also meant, especially in the Mongoose's case, without tubeless ready wheels, that I'm probably gonna need new wheel sets for both bikes. Good news is I found some sweet Amazon deals on tubeless ready 29er wheel sets that came with maxxis tires already mounted. Cool, right? Not so fast. They're not gonna pair up the best tires, so you have to read carefully and do your research. In my case, one set came with the High Roller 2s, which were the shit before the Minion series, the DHF and the DHR2. The other wheel set came with Crossmark 2s. And then I learned after I got them that they were not TR ready, even though they came on a set of WTB TCS wheels. Bottom line, as I dug in the forums and read the reviews, I learned that these tires are designed for different purposes, for different terrain, different functions, for different types of terrain, different types of mountain bikes, which all have different types of treads, etc. Also, it's a real rare occurrence where a mountain biker will have the same tire in the front that's on the back, right? The front tire, of course, is for grip and to support steering, right? We want to point the tire in a direction that it's going to take us without slipping. And then the rear tire is not just to follow and support, but of course it's got next level grip for propulsion. So it's got to dig into a given terrain, right? And keep driving the bike forward with very little slippage, right? So you can imagine the different types of terrain that you're riding on, the different types of bike purposes, right? Are you downhill, trail, cross country, you know? And it just seems, I'm not in it for racing, I'm just in it because I like going down fast. But you can just imagine, even with the different types of bikes that are out there, that there is a virtual cornucopia of different tread patterns. And that's what we have here. So before choosing a tire, And after all this information, I decided that I really needed to define the task and purpose of each bike, right? So what that does, though, is it takes away the ability for a fair head-to-head comparison of each bike. So I got to acknowledge that, right? So the Mongoose is going to be like a lighter cross-country-ish bike. Geometry of the bike is, you know, more straight up and down, so it's more cross-country. But because of the mods that I'm going to do, which are basically the same mods that I'm going to do on the Motobecane, and with the different types of frames, they're kind of going to be a little bit different. While the Motobecane is going to be pretty much a dedicated trail bike. Not downhill because the geometry doesn't support it, but definitely a more well-rounded, robust trail bike. But like I said, when I assign these tasks and purposes for these bikes, now you can't compare them because they're going to be built differently. So for one matter, the Mongoose is a SRAM drive. It's a SRAM driven platform, while the Motobecane is Shimano. So right there, similar components, right? It's going to be a 1x11. Both platforms are going to be a 1x11, but SRAM versus Shimano. The Mongoose, i.e. the cross-country kind of lighter platform, the tires just won't be as wide. They'll have a different tread patterns based on more of a cross-country, more built for speed kind of thing, where the Motobecane will be more trail driven, more robust, grippy, slower rolling. And again, that's what we have here. So what we're gonna do for the Mongoose, right, is I'm gonna have a maxxis Ardent Race rear, right? Notice the close-in tread here for the rear. And then for the front, we're gonna have the maxxis Forecaster. So this is actually more of a mud tire, but it's got some serious knobs on it. And since I'm dealing with loose over hard to like straight up deep sand, the space here is gonna allow the siping to push and for the tire to dig in. Online, you can see that even though it's a tire designed for mud, it works real good as well in loose over hard. And then the Motobecane Fantom, what that's going to have is on the rear, I'm going to have an aggressor rear, right? Serious knobs on this thing. Close-in pattern, right? And then on the front, I am going to use the last of the high roller twos. Now, this was the predecessor of the Minion DHF DHR2 series. And since I bought this thing, you could see some mega knobs on it, right? For grip in the loose over hard and deep loose over hard, where I'm at out here in the Western Desert. So, but because I bought this, I will use this, and then once this tire is worn, then I'll probably replace it with one of them Minions, okay? I can't do it like Seth or the other folks who've converted to tubeless. I can't have that open cavity and just fill in the sealant through there. I will make a huge mess. So what I'll do is I'll tape the rim, install the stem, install the tire, pump everything up without any sealant, and then check for leaks. Once I worked out where the leaks are, what I'll do is take my high-speed tool here. I can let out as much air as possible. Or to make it real fast, I take my high-speed stem core remover. Just unscrews. Be careful of the pressure, it might pop off, so use caution. So then I'll pull the core out and then get a bottle of the Stan's. They make it in a high-speed 2-ounce bottle. So instead of popping the tire off the rim and you have this big cavity and you goop it in, I will just make a mess. So I get this and I'll pour it directly into the stem. All right, and now I can get a quart bottle and just refill this and put it in my bike pack, right? Just for emergencies, works great. Get the stem core removal tool to tighten her back up. and inflate. Roll it around and shake it around. Get that juice going to where it needs to be. But of course, the best way to get this thing going is to ride it. So I guess we're still rolling here with the sound. So I'm gonna crank up the GoPro 5 here. So I'm gonna sound sync this GoPro 5, Mark. All right, and we got the final words here. So it looks like these Ardent Races, which are the ones I really got, they were really able to bite into this ground, and even though I felt slippage, it wasn't because I was slipping on the surface. This tread was digging in and actually kicking the dirt back as it propelled me forward. So I felt a different type of slippage on that. The Forecaster really gave me a sure footing on the slippery stuff. I mean, there was some deep sand, I'm not sure if you saw, and as I was coming down this hill going into it, and I did not slip out. I mean, I was riding the brakes for sure, but these knobs really got in there. I was really surprised. So yeah, Forecaster. So you can see both bikes as they are right now. Like I said, it's just too windy to get out there with the high rollers and aggressor on the Motobecane, but I'm definitely coming out here repeatedly as the time allows to really check these two bikes out. But right now I'm really digging it. So more to follow. The mods are coming. All right, I still got to swap this shock, and I still got to swap, like I said, these bars were originally from the Motobecane, and please excuse all the gear on there for the filmmaking stuff, but 290, 190, 290 millimeter, and the other ones I went with, which are the carbon fiber, are 160 or 260 millimeter. I'm not sure what it is. I'll annotate it. So I'm putting these on all of them. Although I do gotta say I like the 290s there. I like the width, but I'm not going to any mountain bike parks anytime soon. So, all right, y'all. Tires going tubeless. You saw me going through the rough stuff, trying to find the trail, and we're good to go. Ardent Race rear, Forecaster on the front for loose over hard desert. I like it.